Welcome back, painting friends. Today we are going to paint a jar of heart flowers. Colors you're going to need: purple, pink, red, green, yellow, black, white, and teal. I always have my favorite 4 brushes in the studio: my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brush. Remember to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping those brushes clean. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by painting pretty much a gigantic white rectangle in the middle of my picture. And the reason I'm doing that is I want the center to be a lighter color than the edges. So I'm just going to start off with some really nice white in the middle. I'm not going to wipe my brush off. I'm going to leave that white right on there, and I'm going to start to add some teal to the edges. I want it to be really light teal. So now I'm going to go right in here with these edges, filling them in with that dark teal color. And remember, if you like what you're seeing here, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, and check us out on our Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose, so you can keep up to date on all of our little videos and chats. So now that all of that's done, I'm going to wipe that teal off my brush, and I'm going to go in with just white. I'm going to start over here on this edge, and I'm just going to pull these colors together all the way across the canvas. I can wipe my brush off. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to grab some more white. I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to pull these colors back across this way. Now you can keep it streaky if you want, or you can keep doing this until you get it to where you like it, a nice ombre look from the edges in. I kind of like mine streaky, so I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to let this dry, and when I come back, we will paint in our jar and our heart flowers. I'm going to go back with my 1-inch flat brush and that dark teal paint. And I'm just going to make a table where my jar is going to sit on. So I'm just going to go straight across this back edge right here and make a nice table. So it's about 1.5 inches tall. I'm using an 11 by 14 canvas. So from there, I'm going to grab my number 6 round brush and some white paint. A lot of times when I draw jars, even though I'm going to add black to them later, I want to start out with white paint to get my shape correct. So up here at the top, I'm just going to make an oval for the opening of my jar. After that, I'm going to make a straight line down. And then I really want to make sure that I focus that these shoulders of the jar are the same. So you just kind of want to take a little bit of time, make sure those shoulders are the same. And then that line's going to come straight down. Oh, I gotta wait till the bottom dries. Probably should have did that from hairspray, but either way, now you know where that is. Okay, we are going to go in and add our nice big ribbon on our jar. So I'm going to get that number, that 1-inch flat brush again, and you can make your ribbon color any color you want. You do not have to use red, but I'm thinking this is a Valentine's picture, perfect time to use that color. So I'm just going to take this color and pull it straight across, maybe 2 inches across. Now here's the trick. We're going to take that, and this edge up here, we're going to make it come down just a little bit. So we're kind of like making a smiley face on it. See that? That'll help it look like the jar has a curve to it. So you're just going to follow a gentle curved line all the way back up. Same thing down here. Start here, bring it down, bring it back up. Instantly you go from having a rectangular piece of ribbon to a ribbon that is going around your jar. I'm going to grab that number 6 round brush, and right over here in the corner, I'm going to make the bow on it. So I'm just going to make one big loop right here. I'm going to thicken that loop up. And the other one's going to go right here. My little strings down. Go ahead and wipe that brush off, and I'm going to add in my stems now. So my stems are going to be the dark green. When I add my leaves in, I am going to add some yellow to it. So you can add as many stems as you want to have conversation hearts or just regular hearts on your piece. But I'm going to start right up here, and I'm just going to start taking these in, going straight over that back line, kind of skipping that front line and coming back down. And again, you can add as many as you want. Some can be taller, some can be shorter. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this jar now that I know my ground is a little bit drier. And when I do the bottom of the jar, I just want to give it a small, gentle curve, just like the top had and just like that ribbon has as well. All right, so my hearts, you can make your hearts any color you want. I'm going to make mine a bunch of different colors, but I'm just going to start with the basic color of the heart. And so this one is going to be just a pink heart. And draw it right at the top of the stem. Now I'm just going to color that in to start with, and when they dry, we are going to add a little bit more fun to it, okay? So you're going to make all of your hearts different colors, same colors, different sizes, totally your choice. Have fun with it. It is time to add some fun highlights. Okay, so first things first, I do want my ribbon to have like 2 ribbons on it. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of watered down black paint. Anytime I use black paint, I like to water it down. And I'm going to make a line that goes across my ribbon here and then just a little bit higher up. And the reason I want to do that is I want my bow to have polka dots on it, but I don't want the whole ribbon to be overly decorated. So I'm going to make 2 different ribbons, meaning this one right here in the center, I will add polka dots to, and the other one I'm just going to keep plain red. Now let's go back up here and add in our greenery. So I want to add some sprigs of green in here, and you can always go through and add a couple extra flowers if you want at the end. But I told you I wanted to add some yellow in with my green. I want all of my green leaves to be a lighter green color, more like a spring green color. So I have added some light green, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out here, and I'm just going to hold my brush up tall and then just kind of set my brush down as I come in towards my flower, and that's just going to give me a really nice leaf look. And I'm just going to fill these stalks up with these beautiful bright green leaves, and remember, those even will go down into my water, so you can make them go down as far as you want. You can have them stop at your ribbon, or they can kind of go down even past your ribbon. Totally, choice is yours. But you just take some of that yellow green on your brush. This is my number 6 round brush. Kind of hold your brush up nice and skinny when it hits the canvas, and then set it down as you pull it down towards your stem. Now, I did say we were going to actually add a black outline around our jar. I do want the jar to stand out. I always like to do it in white first in case I mess up with the black. It's easier to fix it if it's white. So I'm now going to take some black, watered down black paint on my brush, and I'm just going to do a very thin line. And this line does not have to be a solid line. There might be points where the line kind of disappears, and that's okay. It's a jar, so especially with a glass jar, sometimes you don't always see those. I can even go straight down along that ribbon. Love that. Now down here in the bottom, I am going to add some more hearts. And these hearts are going to be kind of the same as the front ones, but I want them to look as though they're a little bit stacked. So some might be laying on their side. Some might be upside down. This is where our conversation hearts are going to go. So you can make them kind of anywhere you want, but don't feel like they all need to be standing up straight. Like I said, you can even make some upside down, make some big, make some small, make them stack on top of each other. Just have fun with it. I'm also going to go in here and add a couple of green lines that kind of come out over the edge. Maybe I'm going to make just a couple of these, and we're going to do a different type of greenery on them. I want to make sure that there's a little bit more green in there. Okay, so now that I have that on there, I'm going to take my finger with a mix of that yellow green and the regular green, and I'm just going to make dots, and these dots are going to go on either side of that. See that, how that works? I'm taking that light green and that dark green. I'm just putting dots on either side of it. And then at the very tip of these, I'm going to put the cutest little white hearts. But these white hearts are going to be like attached to the bottom of it. So like my point of my heart's going to be there. See how cute that's going to be. All right, let's add some of these details to the hearts. So you can add any kind of fun detail you want to the heart, but what I'm going to do is keep it pretty simple. On these hearts, I'm going to make a little white line on the inside of each of them. And those white lines can connect, but they don't have to. It's up to you. That's looking adorable. I'm going to add some white lines right across the top of my ribbon, the top and bottom of my ribbon. I'm going to add some white lines going right across here to show where the jar would have its grooves. And then down here, I think I'm going to give some of these guys a second coat of color just to make sure they're really nice and bright so that when I add my words on them, they are ready to go. All right, we're going to let this dry. When we come back in, we're going to add our words down here and all of our details up there. This is one of my favorite things to do to paintings. It's just adding black squiggly stuff everywhere, okay? And so I am going to take some watered down black paint on my number 6 round brush, and I'm going to just do a gentle outline. I like to call these ghost lines. Like sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. They don't really have to be attached to anything. They're just going to kind of loop and hug around anything you want it to be looped and hugged around. So my heart's on the top, my heart's down here. Again, they don't have to go all the way around it. That's up to you how much you want to add to it. What is this thing called? Bow is going to have some as well. Now, if you're feeling really crazy, you can even go through here and kind of add some lines on these. I do like to sometimes outline every once in a while some of these little leaves. You don't have to add too many outlines to them. A little bit goes a long way when it comes to adding little black lines around leaves. So don't get too crazy with that. Don't waste too much time on it. Now, you can make your conversation hearts any way you want. You can even add some up here if you want, but I'm just going to keep mine down here. I'm going to put I love you. Keep it real simple. I'm going to do it in white paint, so I'm going to water down a little bit of my white paint. If you have a paint pen, you can always use that. But the only thing I keep down in my studio are my brushes, my paints, and black Sharpies, but I want this to be in white. So I've got some watered down white paint on my number 6 round brush, and I am just going to write the words I think since it's already a heart, I'm just going to write a heart. And then you. I'm going to take a little bit of white highlight on some of these and just kind of add a little bit of white to some of them. I don't need to go too crazy. And then jars generally have a little shine to them. So I'm going to use some of that watered down white paint and kind of wipe it off on my towel just a little bit to get some of it off. And I'm just going to kind of pull some lines across, make it look like there is some glass shiny on here. Super simple. All right, let's pop it back up and see if we think we're finished. I do think I want to add just a little bit more white up to the top, so I'm going to grab my number 6 round brush, and right in this area, I'm going to add some little curly cues of white kind of popping out. You know, they're going to come right down into that water. These can go anywhere you want. They can go in front of your flowers or behind your flowers. But just a couple little curly cues of white to just add some fun to this. Even have them just kind of popping up and out of some of your flowers. There we go. Now, I think I like it where it is. So when you're finished, you need to find a color that's going to show up on your canvas and sign your name. Remember that I never get to see what you're painting at home unless you post it on my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you are kept up to date on all of my tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.